Yeah, yeah.
Is it recording? Alright, so let's start with a handshake. Nice to meet you. My name is Sean. I'm from the Singapore comics community. It's a pleasure to have you in Singapore.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Maybe you can introduce yourself to the
My name is Trevor Hairsine. I'm a comic book artist. I've worked for people like Marvel and DC, and now I'm here, enjoying some food.
Alright, so let's start with the first question.
Yeah.
So, it's been full circle for you, hasn't it? Because you started your career off at 2018.
Yeah, that's
in
right,
1994.
Yeah.
You wrote titles like Harmony, like Dread, and now you're returning to 2018, 20 years later in 2024 with Rogue Trooper, alright?
Yeah.
Right, so how do you feel to return?
Oh, it's like coming home. It's the characters. These are the characters that I grew up with. You know, when I was a kid, 1977 to 1987. You know, a long time ago. And yeah, it just feels natural to me. I love the characters. Easy to do.
Alright, so let me ask you, on the topic of these 2 decades away, right? Do you think right now, 1994 Trevor could recognize 2024 Trevor's artwork?
Strangely, yes. I think so. I think when I first started, I kind of knew who I was.
Okay.
And I did a style which is not dissimilar to what I do now. And then I went off on a tangent, sort of trying to emulate other people before I circled back eventually, mostly when I started working in American comics. And so I got back to my roots, which is essentially kind of a Neil Adams-y, Alan Davis-y sort of thing, that's what I like, that's what I've always liked. Yeah, I was distracted by folks like Nick McCartan, who I think is genius, and Cam Kennedy, who I also think is a genius.
So actually, my next question was going to be, who are your inspirations?
Oh yeah, I probably have actually. That's kind of most of them. I'm going to chuck in Bill Slinkovich as well. Just one of my absolute all-time favourites. Yeah.
Speaking of all-time favorites, one of my all-time favorite books of all time is actually Deceased. I love Deceased. So I wanted to ask you, this is really good, right? You love this, right? How did you join Deceased? You were working with Tom Taylor, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, it was Ben Abernathy, who's an editor I worked with at Wildstorm. Sort of, and I've known him for about 20 years. Yeah, I just got in contact with him because I was doing a circle to try to sort of work with people that I really enjoyed working with again. And he said, yeah, and he pitched this. He pitched this, which is essentially, a DC zombie fest with heart. and it does have a load of heart, which Tom wrote some terrific stuff. And I enjoy doing the small and intimate sort of stuff just as much as the big violent stuff. And yeah, he wrote all of it. It's terrific.
So, actually, you mentioned really briefly on Wildstorm comics, right? And so, I love Wildstorm. I'm trying to collect Wildstorm, but it's so difficult. And in fact, the first time I saw your name was actually on this old, backup one-shots, I think, during the World's End saga during Wildstorm. So,
yeah.
Can you tell us more about working on Wildstorm?
That's a while ago. I think once again, obviously that was Ben Abernathy. I think I just finished with Marvel and hopped straight on with Ben, and that's what we did. Just cracked on with. I'm trying to think. We did actually get.
I remember it was a little one shot across Gen 13, across Wildcats, and so much.
Oh yeah, and then I did a create your own book. Killer
Producer. I was just reading it. It was such an
yeah.
interesting book, right?
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So, what was your favorite project? You know, is it these kind of creator-owned books, or is it those big books like Deceased, or is it? Well, what's your favorite project you've done so far?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I'm going to say Deceased. Yeah.
Deceased.
I think particularly the first book. That was one of my favourite things of all time. I think. Just from the guys I was working with to the characters I was working with. I loved it. It was great fun.
So, you've worked on Deceased,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
worked on Wildstorm, you've worked on Killapalooza.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing your catalog, you did some covers for Something's Killing Children. So I
yeah.
feel like some of your work revolves around darker and more mature comics. Is that
so.
true?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah, that's just it's my nature, I think.
Is that something you've always been naturally inclined to?
Yeah, just inclined to. I find horror style stuff funny. If that makes any sense.
All right.
I tend to giggle at unpleasantness.
So
I'm sure that says quite a lot about me as a person. I'm very sorry if that's the case.
okay. So in your long tenure in this industry, is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
any character you wish you had something to do with? Like any work you could have done with them? Let's say Sandman.
I could certainly do Sandman. Yeah, that'd be great fun. But yeah, I got to. It's a tough one. I've got to say Wolverine and the wrong. No, Hulk.
Oh,
Really wish I'd done some Hulk
is there any reason why?
because he's big and nasty.
Yeah. That's a good reason.
Yeah, and Superman, just because he's my favourite superhero of all time, and I would have liked to have done him justice somewhere.
Justice.
Yeah, I mean, this. I did Deceased, but I mangled him horribly. So
Okay.
I feel sorry for that.
That's okay. This what I'm really happy with is that Deceased ended with a happy ending.
Yeah,
There are a lot
yeah.
of zombie stories
Yeah,
that
yeah.
either nothing happens or you don't know what happens, right? Endings left. But Deceased ended with a really good ending, and I highly recommend all of viewers to check it out. And so, for our last question, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm kind of on the younger side, right? I'm 18 this year.
I can definitely tell. Yeah.
So,
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm on the older side.
something that we're doing in the Singapore comics community is
Yeah.
actually I'm trying to lead an initiative to try and get more younger people
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fall in love with comics. You know, that's the whole basis of this event here today.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So let me turn the question to you, right? A new generation of comic artists are rising up now.
Yeah.
What are some nuggets of information that you could dispense to the newer generation?
Love what you're doing every day. If you love what you're doing, you'll get up and you'll just do it. That's that. I think it's called passion, or is that obsession? Some of that. If you've got that, you're fine. You're okay. Oh, use your intelligence as well. That's the other thing.
So what's next for Trevor Hairsine?
Currently, I'm working for Bad Idea, sort of doing some of Robert Vendetti's books.
Yeah.
Really enjoying that. That's fun. I've got a bit of 2000 AD stuff going on as well. That's fun. I really want to do a Create Your Own book next. I'm working with Andy Lanning to get something potentially through Boom. I really like Bryce Carlson. He's lovely to work for, great guy. And so yeah, we're just going to keep pitching him stuff until he breaks. He will break eventually.
Alright, it's a pleasure to have you here. We're so
Thanks,
happy
man.
to meet
Seriously.
you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Alright, and that was Trevor Hairsine.